friends, and welcome to this week's video. I am actually shooting a video on my tattoo apprenticeship this week. I've kind of just been doing everything but that lately, but yeah, I still hope you enjoy my videos anyways. If you're new here, I have been a tattoo apprentice for just about over a year now. A lot of that has been lockdowns. It's been like at least half of that time has been lockdown, so it's really hard to compare my progress and how long I've been tattooing because of that. But I'll try my best. This week I thought it would be fun to kind of do a little Q&A to help out those who have some questions about becoming a tattoo apprentice. I didn't actually take any Q&As or anything. I just kind of compiled a list of the most frequently asked questions in my DMs. So if you do have a question and I don't get around to it, my Instagram, probably my personal page, along with my tattoo Instagram page will be linked down below. I answer all my DMs, so just shoot me a message. Also, disclaimer before we get started, all of these questions, well, most of them, if not all of them, are going to depend on my personal experience as an apprentice. It might be completely different for you, so this is just what happened for me. It could be different, it could be the same. I hope it helps anyway, or provide some insight at least on the subject. Another disclaimer is that my answers might change depending on the more I learn and the more I grow, so this is just my thoughts on these questions, being an apprentice for a year. So yeah, I was about to tell you how long an apprenticeship is in total, but that's one of the questions, so you just have to keep watching. Okay, so my first question that I usually get asked is an apprenticeship full-time or is it usually part-time? There could be an instance where it is part-time for you. Personally, in my experience, my apprenticeship was full-time, and a lot of apprentices that I know usually do it full-time. For me, full-time is Tuesday to Saturday from 11 to 7 p.m. So that being said, it does make it pretty hard if you want to get like a part-time job on top of that. For me, I was working at a restaurant and I have a really good relationship with them, so they kind of just let me pick my own hours. I usually worked on one of my days off just to have that extra income. It was really helpful. But yeah, for me it was full-time. I did not have the option to do part-time. A lot of mentors or shops look at it as, if you really want this, you need to be ready to put in full-time hours, and at the same time there's so much to learn, and I find that if you have the ability to do full-time, you're gonna learn faster because you're doing it more frequently, you're doing it all week, and I think you're gonna grow a lot faster and learn quicker. Yeah. I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, yes, it is possible that there might be an option for part-time. It definitely helps out more financially if you were to do it part-time, but looking at the pros and cons, I would rather go for full-time, and that's what was available, so yeah. And the next question that I usually get asked is, do you get paid, or on the opposite side of that is, do you have to pay for an apprenticeship? Personally, in my case, I didn't have to pay for an apprenticeship, and I also did not get paid for an apprenticeship. A lot of people are really concerned when they hear like you're working and you're not getting paid. Personally though, I look at it as like, if you're learning something that you go to college or university for, you generally have to take out a loan that's thousands of dollars, and it's freaking scary because it's like, I don't even know if I'll get a job after I take out all this money. But the way that I look at it is that I get to learn basically for free, and I don't have to take out a loan, and I get to not only not have student debt, but also I get one-on-one learning experience, either with your mentor or with the shop you might have multiple mentors. So I think that's really cool that you get one-on-one, so it's not like you're not fighting with possible other students or something to learn. Like, you literally get one-on-one attention, and it is so good. And as for you having to pay a shop or a mentor to teach you, I don't know much about that. The only thing I would say is just be very, very careful. Tattooing and being a tattoo apprentice, at least in Canada, is still a really, like, it's such a gray area, and you don't really know if they're like shady unless you have a good relationship with the shop or your mentor. If you're going somewhere where you don't really know the person, you don't really know if they're just gonna be like, hey, come be my apprentice, pay me $5,000, let's say, and in 2 years you'll be tattooing. And then who's to say they don't make you be an apprentice for like 4 years, and then you wasted all that time and that money, and you don't even get to do what you love in the end, if that makes sense. Yeah, just be careful and do your research before you jump into anything. Another question that I usually get as well is how to budget for a tattoo apprenticeship, but I think I'm going to leave that for a separate video because I am very detailed and detail oriented. So I literally have like a budget layout for every month that I want to show you guys, because I feel like if I try to explain how to budget very shortly, it won't be enough time, or I can't go into all the details that I want to go into. So stay tuned for that video. And then my next question is, how long is a tattoo apprenticeship in total? This will also kind of depend on the mentor or the shop. Generally, it's usually about 2 years. I thought that was 2 years before I even touched a tattoo machine. That's also including your time learning how to tattoo as well. So for me, it was about a year of, keep in mind the lockdown, so it could have been sooner, like 4 or 5 months of that was lockdowns, but for me it was about a year before I touched a tattoo machine and actually started working on people. Actually, I shouldn't say touch a tattoo machine, because I did work on fake skin, but before I actually started tattooing on people. So the first year is basically learning proper health and safety. I did my bloodborne pathogens test before my apprenticeship, but in Canada, like, we don't really need a certificate, but we do. It's like an online program and you get a certificate, so we do that just so that you're informed, because you are opening someone's skin and you want to make sure that you're doing it in a safe environment. But yeah, you focus on that for the first year, I would say, and then the next year you're still considered an apprentice. So your mentor will like sit with you and guide you through tattoos and all that, but you're still an apprentice. So generally about 2 years. And the next question is how to get your foot in the door. And I think I get asked this a lot because it's an industry where it's very, very hard to get into if you don't have connections. There's definitely no right way to do it. If you want to know how I personally did it, I will link my how I got my tattoo apprenticeship video in the corner and the description if you want to watch that to see my personal journey. It's always great to try to find a shop that you think you'll want to apprenticeship at, and then you can go in, get tattooed by them, kind of feel the atmosphere, ask questions as well while you're being tattooed. Another thing is you can just go in and show possible mentors your portfolio and all that and be like, hey, can you take a look at this? They might say, oh, you should work on this, or you should include this type of art, just to see, or just to grow your portfolio. And then you can kind of come back in a couple months, be like, hey, I took your advice and I did my own thing, redid my portfolio, would you mind taking a look again? Don't bug them too much, but enough to show that, you know, you're actually taking what they say seriously and trying to grow as an artist. The next question that I want to talk about is how to find a reputable how to find a reputable, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm gonna stop trying. No, I'm determined, I want to do it. How to find a reputable shop. My answer to this is similar to the answer to the question before, or before that or something. But basically just go in and get tattooed, kind of get the vibe of the shop, see if it's an atmosphere that you really like. I would always do my research as well. Personally, the shop that I'm at, I creeped their Instagram for a very long time before I got my apprenticeship. I approached them at NYX as well, which is a tattoo convention, just to kind of see their atmosphere at the convention, which they're super fun, and I wish I was able to go to a convention sometime in the near future. Hopefully if we do a convention again, I'll definitely bring you guys along. But yeah, once I befriended the Apprentice, I would go in and kind of hang out. They had like a little couch waiting area, so I would just draw on the couches and just chill. And it was really nice because I got to kind of meet all the artists and hang out and become more comfortable before I actually started my apprenticeship. I know it's really hard with COVID right now. A lot of people don't have the option to just go in and hang out. That's a tough one then. Like, you could try messaging or writing them like a professional email. It might be hard to get through that way though. So I wish I had better advice, but right now it's really hard. But don't give up. Come on, you got this, keep fighting. Okay, another question I get is kind of how to make yourself stick out and how to put yourself ahead of other people who are interested in getting a tattoo apprenticeship. For me personally, it was just making my portfolio really well organized and professional looking. If you want to know how to make a professional portfolio, I will link up here how to make a tattoo apprenticeship portfolio. As well as in the description. I will also put down there what my portfolio looked like so you can take notes and do the same thing. Another thing that I did was basically just hang out, like I said, at the shop and draw a lot on my days off from the restaurant. I would go into the tattoo shop and just kind of hang out, watch their current apprentice work and all that, as well as I did get tattooed by one of the artists as well. And I did that for at least a month, if not 2 or 3 months before I got my apprenticeship. So I think it just showed the shop owner that I was really dedicated. So if you have the ability to get tattooed and ask questions, again with COVID, I know it's super hard to go physically into the shop because a lot of shops are either closed or their waiting area is off limits. So I would say maybe just get tattooed a lot. Always check in, like say they're not looking for an apprentice or they give you advice on your portfolio. Take that advice, work on your portfolio, and revisit maybe a couple months after and be like, hey, I worked on my portfolio again. Would you mind taking a look again? Another thing you can do is take the online bloodborne pathogens test so that you have your certificate already. You can print it out. I put mine, there was like a little, not in one of the laminated pages, but there's like a little folder at the front of the portfolio. So I just kind of slid mine in there so that she could see my bloodborne pathogens certificate, as well as I think I had my art fundamentals certificate in there. I did a year-long art course at Sheridan College, basically just teaching like technical art skills, so I thought I would put that in there. So if you have anything like that, I think it would be nice to put that in there, as well as make some business cards if you have the option to. I recommend Vistaprint. It's super user-friendly. I just made my business cards on Procreate and uploaded onto Vistaprint, and I think they had a sale. They usually have sales if you buy in bulk. That way shops you go to, you can just hand them your business card and it looks super professional. Another question that I get is, do you have to buy all of your own supplies? And that is yes and also no. So when it comes to a lot of the commonly used supplies, this is just at our shop, could be different at other shops. Our shop owner is so generous. She supplies like all the paper towel, clip cord covers, machine bags, Vaseline, saran wrap, dental bibs, bed sheets, the list goes on and on. So anything that's disposable, she generally supplies, and then anything that is like more equipment wise, you would supply. So like your machine, your inks, stuff like that. Anything extra, like the grip tape, she does provide that. If you're wrapping like with an aftercare bandage, you can use the Sensi wrap, that's the word. You can use the Sensi wrap, but if you want to use it as a grip on your machine, you generally have to buy your own. So anything more equipment wise is on you, and then anything that's more disposable, supplies is on her. Another question that I get asked is, how long did you work on your portfolio for? That's a really hard question because I guess technically I've worked on it for as long as I can draw. Like, I've always been working on my drawing skills. I've been drawing since I was like tiny. But when I physically started putting a portfolio for specifically an apprenticeship, oh, it was so long ago now. I think it was back in like 2017, 2016. I don't know why. The first portfolio I made, I did it in like an 11 by 17 portfolio, and I went to the tattoo convention with this giant portfolio. I remember being on the escalator and like turning around and almost like smacking some guy in the legs because it was so big. So after that, I actually downsized it. So some of the drawings were like 11 by 17. So I had to redo my drawings. I would say that I worked on my portfolio for about a year to 2 years. That might be just because I'm a perfectionist, but I would always I would just keep improving because I was doing art so much. And then I would look back on my drawings and be like, there's that one little part in the line that has a bump. I'm gonna redo the whole sheet because I can do it better. So if you're like me, it might take a while. It's all very subjective. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the Q&A here. I'm sorry if it was really short. My SD card keeps being full and cutting out the video, and then I have to go and delete some footage and then come back. I'll definitely be doing more Q&As and stuff. You can always DM me on Instagram or stay tuned for another video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, come hang out again if you want to learn more about being a tattoo apprenticeship. Being a tattoo apprenticeship? Being a tattoo apprentice.